ready. Let's see if we can get this to work. Trying new things today. Am I live for real? Sorry, y'all. I am trying to double check that we are live on YouTube. And I have a computer that has a mind of its own. But everything is figure outable, right? My goodness, my goodness. So many pop-ups. Oh, yeah, we're here. We made it. We made it. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. This is what happens when you try out new technology, but it's almost like you just have to rip the band-aid off, right? There is no test it and see if it works. It's either you test it on the day and it works that day, because there's no guarantee that it's gonna work tomorrow. Awesome. Well, I hope that you can hear me okay. I am, you know what? We're just gonna unplug this because I'm not 100% positive that it's working. Here we are. Good morning. Welcome. Thank you for your patience in watching this unfold. Yes, I realize now that there's a bit of a delay. But if you are over on YouTube, feel free to drop in the chat where you are coming from. I'd love to know where people are tuning in from. And then if you're watching this on a replay, drop replay in the comments or in the chat. I don't know how that's going to show up, because I would love to see who has tuned into this after it was delivered live. Let's hope that next week it's going to be even better. Okay. Now that I have my tech in order. And oh, it's working on LinkedIn too. Oh, I'm so excited. Don't you just love technology? I have been just, hallelujah. All right. So if you are new here or new to me, my name is Abriana and I am a consultant at my business. My business is called Black Unicorn Creative. And my work is really centered around helping founders, business owners, and operators find alignment. I really believe that alignment is our competitive advantage. And in order to achieve alignment, we have to close the gap between what we promise and what we deliver. And the best way, after spending years in the back ends of a bunch of animal health and agricultural businesses, the best way I've found to do that is to understand what your values are and make them visible. What does that even mean? That means saying, okay, this is our foundation of our organization. How does that show up? What are the behaviors that allow us to say that those values or what we value is true? What is the experience that we want people to have that say that those values, that thing that is very true and unique to us, is true? So I'm excited to be doing this Alignment August challenge. And if you saw my post on LinkedIn, I literally came up with this as I was walking my dog. Shout out to morning exercise, because it brings me so much clarity. Um, I was walking and I said, okay, I found some clarity within my business in the last 6 months to a year that has given me the confidence to move forward, given me the confidence to move forward at a pace that makes sense, right? I want to help other founders, other business owners, other business operators connect with that feeling of alignment. So that's why we're doing the Alignment August Challenge. Now, this challenge is for founders, business owners, owner operators. You're not just hands off, you are in the thick of it, who have experienced some sort of recent shift. It can, well, with my clients, there's three major shifts that I have seen happen over the last few years. The first shift is growth. It is the business has grown bigger than my original vision for it. I didn't even know we were going to get here. I didn't even know this was possible. And so now I'm having to recalibrate my original vision because we've grown so much far past that. That's like the first shift that happens for my clients. The second shift is that the market has changed. What I have been doing does not work anymore. The market has said that they want something different, and I don't want to be left behind. I don't want to be, um, in a place where I am not evolving with the times. And so I'm having to change something. I'm having to change my audience. I'm having to change my services. I'm having to change my location. I'm having to shift something because those external forces have changed. And then the last shift is a very personal one. As a business owner, as the person who's operating it, as the person who is in charge, as a person who possibly founded the business, your personal intent has changed. Your personal desires, your personal capacity and goals, circumstances, anything, something has shifted with you personally that has changed how you show up within the business. It's either asking more of you or you're asking more of it, and something is not connecting. And those are like the three big misalignments that I have seen my clients go through, and I have experienced when I worked inside other businesses. And so that's what this month's challenge is really about: reconnecting to self and to self intent, and understanding your expectations and identifying where they do not line up with your reality. But also, you are not the business. So, where do your expectations for the business influence how the business runs, and how how the business shows up? What are your day-to-day tasks? What is the experience that's being created for the teams and for your clients? How are those things all connected? So that is why we're spending 30 days reflecting and acting on getting the clarity that we need. So this week's theme is identity. And when I work with my clients, I go through a framework called the Pillars of Alignment. And I oftentimes talk about the alignment gaps. It's 4 I's: identity, infrastructure, integration, and innovation. And those are the 4 gaps that I tend to find in businesses, Some businesses have more than one gap, but identity is usually the first hurdle that we have to get over, right? Where are where is our understanding of who we should be not in line with how that shows up in the world? So that's what this week is about. We are trying to understand, maybe as a business owner or a business operator, how have you outgrown your role? How have you replaced yourself in the business? And now you're not operating in your area of expertise, but someone else is. How have you been on hustle mode so long that you don't even have strategic direction? The goal of this week is to create some strategic clarity and shared understanding, especially if you have a team, whether it is, a team of employees or a collection of 1099s. There are people who are seeking your guidance to lead them into the future. And if you are not clear on the direction you want to go, or even the curiosity you're willing to explore, people will get stuck in the day to day and they start to lose track of, why are we here in the first place? So if you have not gotten the prompts for this week, you can go to blackunicorn.com/August, and you can sign up for the August alignment challenge, and I will make sure alignment August challenge, and I'll make sure that you get the prompts for this week. I'm going to bring up the one for today because it's August 3rd, baby. We are on day 3. Okay. I got all my devices up here. Gotta read things. So we started on August 1st. And the first day, the reflection was, why'd you start the business in the first place? And what was the problem that you were solving? Writing that down. That doesn't, it only write down what the question asks. If you're if the reason why you started the business in the very beginning is not the same reason why you are running it today, that is information, right? I know that personally, my business has evolved immensely over the last 7 years. And I think it's even crazy. It feels crazy for me to even say I've been doing this for 7 years, full time for 6. It's evolved so much. In the beginning, what I started it for was for a creative outlet. And my business has evolved so much now that that is not necessarily what my goal is now. So let's fast forward. Yesterday was, what promise do you make to your customers? That was what you were reflecting on. And you were to write a 1-sentence purpose statement. Don't look at your notes, don't look at your brand guidelines, don't look at your website. What comes from the noggin? Today, the question is, when your work is done, what will the world look like? And is it consistent with your current vision? I was reflecting on this question this morning because it's not enough to just understand what the business was meant to be. It is now our responsibility to make that understanding visible. And I wanted to make sure that I understood, okay, if my purpose in this work has been fulfilled, what does the world look like? But then I said, wait a minute, Abriana, because there are 2 different ways to explore this. The first way is, what does my world look like? And that is very important. What does my world look like when my work is complete, is doing exactly what I want it to do? I am achieving the thing. What does that even look like? For me, um, as I am really connecting with clients who want strategic clarity and they want to understand how to build a business that is more aligned with their desires, the market, their revenue goals, all the things. Um, they're people who want to get deep. They want to go deep. And so, because I value travel so much, I will be traveling around to have full immersions within my clients' organizations. And those immersions will allow for really direct clarity building, not just, oh, this one person told me this is the one direction that, and this is the one experience, and there's only a single line of information. No, that's not how it works, because everyone perceives the organization differently. I will be able to do interviews and be fully immersed in the organization, so that we can get a good holistic picture of what is happening in the business. And when we go from values to behaviors to experience, there can be some cohesion. As we explore the pillars of alignment, we are getting perspective from all of the stakeholders there. Um, so yeah, full immersion, clarity building, and delivering on some sort of operational alignment project that helps them achieve their goals, go farther, faster, stay around longer. That's what my world looks like. But what does the world look like? One of the things that I don't want to happen is, when I'm saying alignment, I am not asking for perfection. Alignment is Alignment requires movement. It requires motion. Perfection, which is often like balance, when people say, "Oh, I'm looking for balance." No, baby. As a Libra, let me tell you, balance does not exist. Balance is the pursuit of perfection, right? Alignment to me is like, um, when you are cutting wrapping paper, if you're going to wrap a gift at Christmas time, you're cutting wrapping paper and you're cutting with scissors, and the scissors hit that glide. That is alignment. Like that, what you feel on the inside, that is what you should feel when you are in alignment. That glide, that ease, right? Sometimes you might get off. You might get off, but you find it again. So, for the world, and reflecting on today's prompt for the world, I want there to be brave leaders who know how to identify misalignment and are confident enough to get their teams back on track. They're able to identify it and address it. And that's, when my work is done, that is what the world would look like. So, like those 4 alignment gaps, if they say, okay, I feel like we're having an identity issue, or we're pretty clear on who we are, but we are not delivering on it. Do we have the infrastructure to support that? Oh, okay. We've got infrastructure, but our people, is who we are integrated into the fabric of our organization? Okay, we're running smooth. It is smooth sailing. How do we prepare for the future? the world, when my work is done, is having leaders, business owners, brave enough to identify those gaps and confident enough to get their team back on track. I was doing a spin bike YouTube class. There's a woman named Kristina Girod, and she has a business called Power and Flow out in Arizona somewhere. And she's a hoot. If you're into spin classes, you have to. I mean, best playlist ever. You got to look up Kristina Girod. She always encourages to add resistance, add resistance, but not to sacrifice the rhythm, right? And she said something this morning that stuck with me, and the way that my short-term memory happens sometimes, I had to repeat it to myself over and over and over because I knew I wanted to mention it on this live. She said, I want you, she was talking about adding resistance. She said, I want you to be confident enough to add, but I want you to have enough integrity to sustain it. I'm gonna let that marinate for a second. I want you to be confident enough to add, but have enough integrity to sustain it. It is easy to add another product, add another service, add another person, add another location, because we think addition solves all of our problems. But I just don't think that's true. And like I was saying in my keynote at the Herd conference, we're adding to solve our problems when we need to be aligning. And if you cannot sustain that extra resistance, that extra tension, you should work on aligning, just simply aligning the rhythm that you have. Because you don't know how much farther you go, farther you have to go, I mean. Um, and I just thought that was really powerful. You know, I mean, she was kicking my butt on that bike, okay? And she would holler out, okay, we have this song is 3 minutes. Add resistance. Add resistance. You've got 90 seconds left. Add. If you knew how much longer you had, how much would you add? In business, we don't know. But I do think that alignment gives us the opportunity to get clear on where we can add and where we can sustain. So the last bit of today's prompt is to identify one commitment, offer, or habit that no longer fits. For me, I got so used to offering one-off strategy calls, one-off pick my brains, one-off just talk to me real quick. It was easy. It was low-hanging fruit, and it wasn't effective. And it was not the work that I wanted to do. And it didn't give me the opportunity to be deeply immersed in what my client was experiencing so that I could give them insight, or we could ask questions that would make sense for where they were. So I had to stop offering those. That was one offer that I got rid of. And that it's been tough. It has been tough to commit to not doing these one-off whatevers. But what I did commit to was showing up more online so that hopefully people within my ecosystem can answer some of those one-off questions through watching just some of the content that I put out. And then when they're ready to go deeper, they can book a intensive. So that is what my one off, or my one offer that I had to get rid of. Um, for you, it might be a habit. For you, it might be a commitment, something that you decided, I don't I don't need to do this anymore. For the direction that I am going, this is not necessary. And I'm having challenges with my capacity because of this thing. Let it go. Like Elsa, let it go. So, thank you for hanging out with me for this week 1 check-in for the Alignment August challenge. If you are not getting the prompts, go to blackunicorncreative.com/August and you will get you will get the prompt. I'll make sure you get it. And yeah, let's keep going. I'm going to be going live every Monday at 10 a.m. on LinkedIn and YouTube now that I figured it out. Okay. Okay. And I really just want to make sure that you don't need to spend all day on this. This is a 10-minute reflection, and that action, there's small actions. And as the weeks go on, the actions may require additional support or a little bit of more time. But right now, as it's built, these actions should be very small. If you are reflecting only, if you're just thinking your thinky thoughts by themselves, but not doing anything immediately after, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. This is not a journaling challenge. Okay? I do recommend you write down your reflections. But reflections are not enough. We cannot just think about alignment. Like I said before, alignment requires motion. So make some motion happen. My name is Abriana. I'm a consultant at Black Unicorn Creative. We help business owners align who they are, how they operate, and how people experience them. And we're doing Alignment August Challenge right now. So sign up, blackunicorncreative.com/align/August, excuse me. And I will see you all next week for the next week's challenge, or next week's check-in. Next week's theme is operations. My favorite. See you next week. Have a great rest of your week.